Hey friends, day 5 of Star Plus. Are you excited? I hope you are. Today we're talking about the magic beyond the minimums. So by now you have created your action plan. You gotten a little heavy, a little deep, kind of dug way down there to figure out what your big dream is. And if you're still working on that, that's okay. Just remember that as you set goals, if they're not measurable, it's difficult to know if they have been accomplished. So if you can find any way to put some sort of a measure, a number, it doesn't even have to be a dollar number. It could be like a number of people you're going to talk to, or things like that. So just some sort of a number so you can measure how close you're getting to that goal will keep you on track. So think of that as you're planning with your action plan and things like that. So we're going to talk a little bit about how the magic lies beyond the minimum. The minimum of the compensation plan per title, I want you to think of as just the foundation of a house. It is the absolute minimum thing you have to have before you can start building. So if you don't have the foundation, or if you only have the foundation, you have nowhere for people to call home. You have no shelter. You just have no security, right? Because if you're living on a foundation, people can break into your house and steal your stuff, right? I say right a lot, I'm sorry. So to me, the minimums of the compensation plan are what you need to start building at that title. They're the minimums. And if you don't put anything else on the foundation, and if you don't build up from it, it's very difficult to have people come over and hang out. It's very difficult for people to want to move in. It's difficult for people to believe that you're going to do anything with it if all they keep doing is driving by and seeing a concrete slab. So for me, it's really important that you start building your house. You start building the structure, the beyond the foundation. Because the foundations are what we talked about in Leap to Lead. The foundations should be what you've got down pat solid. That should be no problem for you. Every single time a month comes up, you should know exactly where the minimums of that are coming from, especially your PRV. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what averages are. So the average director who gets paid at title recruits 1 to 2 people a month and has an average PRV of $1,700 a month. The average director who gets paid at title has PRV of $1,700 every month minimum, and that's the average. So a lot of them have more and then slightly less. So average is $1,700. The average amount of people they add is 1 to 2, and the average number of people on their team is around 48. In the slower fall area, it's around 26 in the heavy fall area, and it's in the 50s in the summer is their team size to get paid at title consistently with an average of 1,700 PRV, 1 to 2 recruits a month, and then those team sizes. So as you're planning your action items, as you're working on making sure that you're expanding yourself beyond the minimums, look at some of those averages and see how you can better match some of those action items that you placed with what it would look like to get paid at title consistently as a director. So some of you have huge big dreams past director, which is awesome. But as we kind of broke that down into what you thought you could do for the next 12 months, a lot of you probably found yourself looking at director in the face. And I think it's really important to see what it takes to make a director and then consistently hit those numbers. Because paid at title is a huge deal. Paid at title helps you with your incentive trips. It helps inspire others to continue getting paid at title. It helps you make sure you're getting the full amount paid to you on your downline, so you're not missing a single dollar for all the work you're doing. So focus on getting paid at title. If you're not currently getting paid at title right now, think about that as well, because the magic lies beyond the minimums, right? And if we're only getting the minimums done, there's a reason there's not a whole lot of magic happening. If we tend to always bust our butts and fall right at the minimum, we need to probably evaluate the work we're doing to make sure that we're actually doing effective work. So what I want you guys to do today is to pretend like I don't know. I was gonna have you, I don't know. I want you guys to just really think about what your averages are. If you find yourself constantly at the minimum, I want you to think about how you're going to start building off of that. And for some of you, it definitely means finding new people for your team and finding new people as customers and getting a little braver and asking some hard asks a little more often, which for the last few days we've been working on talking about as well. So I want you to brainstorm some ways in which you could personally move yourself out of your comfort zone and meet some new people. There's a lot of really great ways to do this. There's Facebook groups, building relationships with the people in those Facebook groups. Fundraisers are a wonderful way to meet new people. There's an app, which I always mention this app, and I don't think anyone takes me seriously, but it's real. It's called Peanut. It is Tinder for play dates, and you literally swipe moms and you meet up with people for play dates. It's really hilarious and kind of cool, but a really awesome way if you're new to an area to meet new people that have similar interests as you. I'm not saying to go sell to them, but honestly, you just got to meet more people. If you are constantly finding yourself at the minimums, you have to find ways to meet more people, to get more involved in your community, to get more involved into groups that have similar interests as you, to put yourself out there and make sure that you are getting in front of more people. Whether that means you're going to start posting videos on YouTube a lot more, maybe increasing your Instagram presence, increasing the amount of activity that you personally participate in the groups you're in, and even maybe just being a better friend to the people you already do know, right? So I want you to talk to below. This is not a heavy week because we're going into the weekend, and I want you guys to play catch up on everything you're not done with. Before we go into the next week, I want those action plans super solid. So this one's not too hard. I just want you guys to think about some ways that you can meet new people, because the only way to get beyond the minimum is by reaching for further than you've gone before, and it's not going to happen with the people that you currently know. It just probably won't, because you have probably, especially if you've been in this for a few years, you've probably exhausted that network. You probably haven't expanded as far out of it as you'd like to, or if you have expanded out of it, you've recruited people and it's shrunk back down, which is awesome. That's how it's supposed to work. But if you are at a point in your business where you're scared to add people to your team, you're living kind of in the fear zone, and you need to be meeting more people. Because I know some people stop adding people to their team because they're afraid of it taking away from their minimum, which is all they have. And so we need to find a way to move past that by meeting more people, being deliberate about getting away from hanging out with too many Scentsy people and really starting pushing ourselves into hanging out with other people and learning ways to build those relationships. So below, just type some ways that you could personally advance yourself in this area. How could you meet more people? Even if you are living a life and business beyond the minimums, you're gonna need to meet more people because you should be adding people to your team, right? So you're gonna have to keep meeting more people anyway. So I want to hear what some of your ideas are, and then let me know if you've actually tried some new ideas recently and it has worked for you. So if you actually have a really great way to meet new people and it's been working for you, comment below with that as well and help everybody out. Talk to you guys on Monday.